Did you know the former Nintendo president Satoru actually cut his salary by half so that his employees wouldn't be fired or laid off due to poor sales of the 3DS and Wii U? The tech community is discussing how this is a stark contrast to how big tech CEOs operate, like the Microsoft CEO. For example, just before Microsoft had their layoffs, the CEO actually had a 10% pay raise. In addition to that, the night before announcing mass layoffs, Microsoft hired Sting to play a private concert for its executives. A Googler chimes in saying they started their career in Japan and their CEO argued all the time in public for cuts to executive pay across the entire planet. What on earth could a person possibly do with that much money? Grow a pair. After enough money to buy a house, take care of yourself and your children, F off, nobody needs that much. His Japanese CEO took home maybe $1 million a year as the head of a company that was big enough to get himself into the World Economic Forum every year. He lived in a house that looked like the Googler's parents' house. Now this person has come to America and worked their way into Google and have discovered that their friends' families have been thrown under the bus so that Sundar, Google's CEO, can take home hundreds of millions of dollars. Another tech employee from Apple comments that Nintendo did commit to no layoffs even in the year 2022 and 2023, which they're very proud of. Apparently, in Japan, you can't mass fire people per Japanese law. For you to do that, you have to declare yourself bankrupt and shut down the entire firm or company, which tech workers like another Googler agrees is a good law. And apparently India was like this too a decade ago. Unless the company was shutting down, people weren't getting laid off. Now firing has become a lot more acceptable. However, there's still tech workers that feel like this is all part of PR, since salary is usually the smallest component of CEO's pay. In tech, usually the compensation for CEOs is broken down to 10% salary, 10% cash bonus, and 80% equity awards. So when you hear a CEO is taking a salary cut, it is usually pure PR and has limited impact on the CEO. And yes, Japanese and all non-US CEOs do make less than US CEOs. Intel agrees, saying no CEO gets respect from me for cutting their salary. A salary cut is like dropping a few peanuts. Salesforce disagrees, saying that better than a CEO doing 10% layoffs and getting full salary and extra bonuses because of cost cutting. Glassdoor actually comments saying that it's Japan, they don't get paid as much in stocks, even for C-level executives. Another Googler agrees, saying that in Japan it's mostly just salary. Glassdoor responds again saying that I can tell you this Nintendo CEO doesn't get much stock because in Japan they get a big bonus which is 2 or 3 times your salary. He isn't swimming in the millions. And honestly, salary in Japan for CEOs are not that high because they're capped at 100 times to the lowest worker. So they can't make more than 100 times that of the lowest worker. Versus in the US, you get oftentimes $100 million for like the average CEO. Like that's a really normal thing and for a big Fortune 500 company. You can Google Nintendo financial results and see that they give $2.5 million only as total compensation to their CEO. Again, that's crazy compared to the 50, hundreds, even $200 million you see for big companies in America.